I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am a storm, I'm a raging fire. I am the snow falling quietly. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am a child, I'm a man, I'm a woman. I am a snake, a bumblebee. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am the life force moving through you. I am the I am that is to be. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am a rock, I'm the sun, I'm the ocean. I am a flower, a fish in the sea. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am the wind, I'm a cloud, I'm an eagle. I am a river that flows to the sea. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am a storm, I'm a raging fire. I am the snow falling quietly. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am a child, I'm a man, I'm a woman. I am a snake, a bumblebee. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am the life force moving through you. I am the I am that is to be. I am the spirit of all creation. I am in you, and you're in me. I am in you, you're in me.
Thank you. So that was our call to worship. And now we will. Please join us in singing Took Some Time Today.
I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Now I can hear that still small voice guide me all the way. Now I can make a conscious choice because I took some time today. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Now I can stand in liberty and love in my faith. Now I can stand and I am free because I took some time today. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine.
Good morning. Really glad that you're here, either here today or whether you're watching online. We just love the fact that you're here. And just as it says in the song, it's just a little hour or so to get in touch with our souls. I mean, that's really when we get right down to it. Isn't that what it's all about? Just a time to say, oh, yeah, I remember now. I remember now. So I asked Geraldine if she would light our candle for us. And as she's lighting the candle, it just becomes this nice reminder for us that what we're trying to do is just get in touch with our soul. So whether there's a song going on or whether I'm jabbering away, whatever it might be, just from time to time, take a look up there and let that flame remind you that what we're all about is getting in touch with our soul. Along those same lines, we have our prayer box right here. And so I invite you to put in a prayer request for yourself or for someone else or for a situation in your life or in the world. There's this prayer box up here. There's two out in the hallway just past the front doors. And what we do is we take those and we pray over those every day for a week. And then we send them back to Unity Village, Silent Unity, and there they are prayed there for 30 days. So let's take a moment, and would you join me in an opening prayer? So let's just breathe. And let's be here, right now, for the next hour, and just be in this state of worship. It's the Spirit of God. We always start with thank you. You touch our lives, and you bring so many things to us. You bring us to wholeness. You bring us to an understanding of what love truly is. That we reach out to one another. That we reach within to the Spirit of God deep inside us. And we know that we are all here together. And so it is, God. So it is. Amen.
Okay, please stand if you're able. Join us in God You Are.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment.
Good morning. I'm Donna Hodge, and I am the celebration assistant for today. We love that you are here on this beautiful, sunshiny, wonderful day. We are so blessed. Welcome to Unity Center of Spiritual Growth, where all people who wish to worship here are welcome. We strive to love and uplift lives. We are an inclusive and affirming church. We bless people of all races, sexual orientation, colors, political beliefs, or anything else that you may have been judged on in the past. We welcome you. We simply welcome everyone who wants to pursue their spiritual path, and we are so glad that you're here today. And I am also glad for our musicians that are here today. They do a wonderful job. And we have Gwen Gathercole, and we're missing Paul today. I'm missing Paul today. Gary Butner is back there on the bass. Todd Neal is helping us on percussion today, which confused me because I went, wait a minute, he's supposed to be in the back, but he's helping us out up here on percussion. On the vocals, we have Patty Ashley, Cheryl Kirby, and Debbie Raby. On sound today in the back is Jim Sullenberger. PowerPoint is Brian Wright. And video streaming is Joe Ornelas. Did I pronounce that right, Joe? Hey, good. Okay. And I also want to thank everyone else who makes our services, provides for our service. There are so many volunteers. We especially appreciate Donna with all of her greeters that you met as you came in, and Judy doing the making sure that we have coffee and treats, and there's people that do flowers and setting up. There's just so many people, and we are so grateful for all of them. If we have anybody here for the first time today, we want to thank you for being here. We are glad to have you join us, and we hope that you have a great time. If you would like, we have a welcome packet for you. If you are comfortable raising your hand, we would love to give you one of those packets. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Okay, there's a couple. So the greeters will give you that, and we want to welcome all of you. You may be here for the first time on live stream, and we are grateful for you also. You can let us know you're here by clicking on the comments section on where it says Connect with Us. Click on that tab on the website. And thank you for all of you for joining us today, both here and online. Hopefully you all saw the announcements describing the upcoming activities on the screen before the service. If not, they are listed in your program and they are on our website. Please join us and get involved. This is your church. It's a great way to get to know wonderful people. Let me draw your attention to a few of the announcements that you may not have noticed. Cheryl is going to give us an update on the Holistic Fair. I'm going to let her do this one, but I also want to let you know we are still accepting book donations for the Holistic Fair through Tuesday, August 23rd. All books are acceptable. They don't have to be just spiritual books. We can take children's books, fiction books, anything you'd like. So if you have books, please bring those. And then I will let Cheryl fill us in on them.
Good morning. It's me again. I promise this is the last time I'm going to stand up here and say that, at least for this fair. The We Are One Holistic Fair takes place next Saturday, just 6 days away. And the cutoff was on the 15th, and I've had 2 people call every single day this week still wanting to get in. So we've got over 30 vendors at this point, which is really exciting. It's going to be from 10 to 5. We still need some people to help with set up in the morning. We're going to start at 8 a.m. and to help welcome our vendors in and get them settled in before the fair starts at 10. There's a lot of activities. We're going to have a live band. Our own very live band with Steve Pertot, and it's going to be amazing. It'll be an outdoor music And we're going to have Jupiter Jane's Traveling Cafe from Sandpoint coming down. We've got someone coming from St. Mary's. And this has actually become an interstate fair. We've got people coming from Washington and Montana to participate in this fair. And I didn't realize it, but this is now an international fair. I have it on good authority that Santa is going to make an early appearance at this fair. And he's going to be making balloon animals. So this is a very family-oriented, kid-friendly. We're going to have lots of kids' activities, too. Let's see, what else? Did I miss anything else? The books are going to be $1 a piece. So if you're into books, come and buy them. We've got thousands. We need them to go. We just don't have storage anymore for all of our books.
And authors, too.
And the authors. We've got our very own authors from Unity that'll be there with their own books and signing them, and you'll be able to meet them. So thank you, guys. I want to see everybody come. Thank you for putting the word out, because a lot of the people that are calling this week have said they heard from somebody here about our fair. So we'll see you Saturday.
We are so blessed. Cheryl has worked her little heart out, plus some. And we are so, so blessed to have her heading this up and taking it on for us. And we thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So now for you drummers out there, for those of you that are drummers and those with rhythm in their hearts, due to the extreme heat predicted this week, the regular drum circle will be held this Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, my bad. 6:30 p.m. And they're going to do it in the cool, air-conditioned sanctuary of the church here. So our regular monthly drum circles are held on the fourth Wednesday of each month here at Unity, and if you want to place that on your calendar, please do, and come and join us. We have extra drums and percussion instruments if you don't have your own, or you can just come and listen, or dance, or play other instruments if you like voice, flute, fiddle, guitar, etc. All are welcome. So please come and join us this Wednesday, 8/24 at 6:30 p.m. And that was from Todd, by the way, who, if you have any questions, check with Todd. So we have one last announcement. Make a reminder to yourself to bring a dish to share for our Friendship Sunday potluck on September 4th. No? I wondered about that. When is the next one, Judy? Do you know?
Yeah, it's in October.
October.
Because of Labor Day, we're not doing it in September.
I wondered about that, and sorry I didn't get with you ahead of time. So forget what I just said. Okay? So we will do that in October, and we will remind you when it gets closer to that time. So now it is time for our meet and greet. Please welcome our visitors, and when you hear the gong, please come back to your seats. I love doing that. It's fun. Okay, every Sunday we have someone from the congregation read us a blessing before the meditation, and today we have Kathy Ornelas. The two of us up here, you know, one of us is probably going to go down.
Yeah. I do not have good balance. Okay. How many different ways are they to say this? We are all in this together. A rising tide lifts all boats. What you do affects me, and what I do affects you. Or I could get really fancy and say that there is a collective consciousness, a universal rhythm of God spread throughout the world, and it tells us that's something we really need to know. We are all one, always have been, always will be. So somehow we need to get that idea embedded, smack dab in the old noggin, and live it and breathe it and do it and love it. We are all in this world together, so just plain love one another, and so it is. Namaste. I think we'll go this way. Okay.
So let's take a few minutes now in meditation. And if you're new to meditation, it's just nothing more than getting quiet and turning inward. And just connecting with that part of us that's pure and holy and sacred. So breathing in and breathing out. We breathe in, and with that holy breath that we breathe in, we just know, we just sense that there is the spirit of love deep within us. And that holy breath, it fires that love. It ignites it. Somehow it keeps it going. And our whole consciousness, our whole being, our whole body is filled with a sense of love. And then we breathe in again, and we have that sense of peace. And everything just calms down a notch. Our blood pressure lowers. Our heart rate lowers. And we just sink into the peace. We accept the peace that's always been there. And then we breathe in again, and somehow it brings an awareness, a knowing of wholeness. That we are more whole than we realize as an individual. But we are also part of all that is. And each person, each mountain, each ocean, each tree, each deer and each bird, we're part of something. So there is this knowing understanding of love and of peace and of wholeness. And with every breath, it takes us deeper into that awareness, deeper into that sensation. So let's just take that into the silence for a moment and be with it and experience it and let it run through our body and run through our consciousness. That we are love, that we are peace, that we are whole in the silence. Spirit of God, deep within me. Thank you, because as you emerge from me, you bless me in love, and you bless me in peace, and you bless me in wholeness. And so it is, God. So it is. Amen. Thank you. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. And you know, all this month we've been taking a look at some issues, some specific ideas within this arena of quantum physics. And so we've looked at quantum tunneling, and we've looked at superposition, and we've looked at the things like wave-particle duality. And so today I wanted to present the last one that I'm going to talk about, and it's called quantum entanglement. And what's interesting about this one is, as smart as Albert Einstein was, this is the one that blew his mind. Einstein laid the groundwork for quantum physics when he came up with the theory of relativity, special relativity, and general relativity. And it was a natural precursor to nuclear fusion and nuclear fission and just trying to understand all the things that were going on in the quantum world. But when he got to quantum entanglement, he said, that's too much. So let's take a look at what that is. And as my wife kept reminding me this week, keep making sure I go back to the spiritual side of things. Right? So here's what quantum entanglement is. Here's what it means. And to understand it, we just sort of have to understand a couple of different things. So here's the first thing. The first thing is we need to understand that energy and light, when it appears, comes in packets. And what that means is that there's two packets, two photons of energy. And it's kind of like, what does that mean? And it's one of the things I mentioned the first time, and that is that light seems to be energy, but it also seems to be matter. And so when you break down a packet of energy, what you get are these two photons. It's kind of like, well, that's weird. Okay, well, let's get weirder. Okay? And so the next weird thing is that each one of these photons, each one of these electrons or neutrons, have what's called spin. And so each one of these two photons, it can spin up or it can spin down. Or it can spin left or it can spin right. Okay, and that's what they do. But what's sort of interesting is, because there's two of them, whatever this one does, if it spins up, the other one spins down 100% of the time. If this one spins this direction, then this one spins this direction 100% of the time. No exceptions. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. So what? Well, here's part of the so what. These two photons or electrons or neutrons, if they interact with each other, and they do, then what happens is when they get separated by a micro-inch or a foot or a mile or the whole expanse of the universe, what scientists can't quite explain is when this photon moves, it instantly affects this one over here, even if they're separated by miles, even if they're separated by light years. The scientists don't know too much about it, except they do know that it moves faster than the speed of light, the effect that this has on the other one. Okay, so here's what's even getting more interesting. This is where Einstein said, this is too much for me. Okay, and so what they found was these two photons actually spin any way they want to until they're measured, until they're observed, until somebody looks at them. And when they're measured, boom, that's when it's frozen. This one's spinning up. Or boom, this one's spinning this way. And the instant this one gets measured, it determines what this one's going to do. Instantly. It's kind of like, well, they're connected somehow. And it doesn't make any sense. And this connection is instantaneous, faster than the speed of light. So that's what the idea of entanglement is that once these two subatomic particles interact with each other, they are forever connected. They forever affect one another's movement. And I think, as I mentioned during the first week, if this seems too weird for us, well, now they're highlighting it in 7th and 8th grade science fair projects. Well, what Einstein said was, this entanglement idea, he called it spooky action at a distance. Very technical term, spooky. And so he actually wrote a lot of papers starting from about 1935 on till his death, where he was trying to disprove the idea of quantum entanglement, not successfully. You know, as smart as Einstein was, this seemed to keep winning the day, and people of all ages now are able to demonstrate the effect quite easily. So that's the idea of entanglement. I think entanglement is pretty similar to wholeness. I think it's the whole idea that if Cheryl and I are just once connected, you know, all of a sudden, what she does affects me, and what I do affects her. Forever. I mean, that's the whole idea of wholeness, right? That we are part of this whole. And that what you do affects me, and what I do affects you. I mean, that's the whole idea of wholeness. And when we may not exactly be able to trace the idea of how two photons, two particles, two subatomic particles, we're not exactly sure how it is that they affect each other. We can do a little bit better when it comes to wholeness in two different people. We start getting the idea on how they affect each other. And they affect each other through love, and through forgiveness, and through truth. And so we're going to spend a little bit more time on those three ideas. I want to say entanglement is literally true. I mean, if you think about the Big Bang Theory, for example, the Big Bang Theory is the idea that in the very beginning, whatever that means, in the very beginning, there's this one drop of energy, of pure energy, and somehow it explodes. But in that one drop of energy, before it explodes, before it does the Big Bang, in that one drop of energy, all particles, everything, the universe, is connected with each other, right? I mean, I'm talking about if two particles come into contact with each other, if they interact with each other, they are forever connected. Well, what I'm really saying is if we take it to a deeper level, they were always connected. They were right there in that pinpoint. And I would say it's the same thing for us when we take a look at this concept of wholeness and how we all affect one another. Because once again, we go back to that Big Bang. It's kind of like, well, this Big Bang, it was just one point of light and it exploded. And this different energy created many different things. It created galaxies and constellations. It created clusters of galaxies. But it also got smaller, too. It created solar systems and planets and the Earth and people. So you and I, somehow, I mean, we're fond of saying originally we were all stardust. You know why we say that? Because it's true. And it's the same thing for us as people. It doesn't matter how you cut it. I mean, the hardcore scientists who say, don't give me that woo-woo stuff. It's kind of like, no, you're not being woo-woo, you're being an idiot if you deny it. Because if you've got that Big Bang Theory, we were all together in that one point of pure energy. So whether we call that wholeness or whether we call that entanglement, It's that idea that once connected, we forever connect with each other. We forever affect one another. So I think one of the things that means is that if we started out together, and if time and space can't really affect us, I mean, we continue having a situation where you affect me and I affect you, then what that says to me is maybe it's time we consciously practiced wholeness. And we did it with great awareness. And so the three concepts I already mentioned, here's the first one. The first one is satya. Satya comes from Buddhism. It's a Sanskrit word that means the truth. But it means a particular kind of truth. It means that what we do is we tell truth 100% of the time, but we do it with a sense of loving kindness too. That it's not enough just to be honest. We are honest with loving kindness, with an awareness of how it affects each other. And I think when we talk about little lies, we say, well, it doesn't really matter. This is just a little lie, and I did it to spare this person's feelings. Now, Satya says, no, you tell the truth 100% of the time. But what it says is that we often think we're telling 100% of the truth, but we're really not. We kind of stop short. So Patty and I have this agreement. It's a little thing, right? But Debbie just turned to Patty and said, did you know he was going to talk about this? So the little agreement we have is if we're going out somewhere, our agreement is, well, whatever we're wearing, if it looks really ugly, we say so. But that's not 100% of the truth, is it? I mean, if we wanted to be more accurate, 100% of the truth would be, well, from my point of view, I don't really care that much for it. And by the way, Patty gets that perfectly. Because if she's putting on something she likes, and I go, you know, hon, I don't think that looks that good. You know, she does that. What is that spiritual symbol for we are all one? Yeah. Yeah. So she gets it that I'm just saying that that's just from my point of view. So anyway, that's a little issue, right? But it's an important issue. I mean, life is made up of thousands and thousands of little issues, right? So that's satya. Satya is to be 100% of the truthful, but 100% truthful, but to do it in loving kindness. Then the second one is ahimsa. And ahimsa is forgiveness. Once again, from Buddhism, a Sanskrit word. And what that means is a couple of different things. That when we interact with other people, that what we want to do is to practice forgiveness. To forgive others, but more importantly, to forgive ourselves. For all the dumb things we've done, all the mistakes we've made, but also for what the other people are doing too. You know, sometimes something that somebody else does affects us negatively, and that says we practice forgiveness. That's the concept of ahimsa. And then we get this third one, and the third one is metta, M-E-T-T-A, metta. And metta means loving kindness. Once again, from Buddhism, a Sanskrit word, and it's it comes from the idea that love tends to be more of an emotion, and kindness tends to be more of an action. And so it says, oh, experience the love inside. That's great, and talk about that emotion that you're feeling. But you got to do something with it. You got to treat people really nicely. You got to treat other people really well. And so when we do those three things, when we practice satya, and we practice ahimsa, and we practice metta, well, when we practice truth, and we practice forgiveness and we practice loving kindness, then what happens is we honor the idea that we're all connected. We honor the idea that what you do affects me and what I do affects you. I think that if we went back to Sir Isaac Newton, you know, the apple falling on his head and all that, and he came up with the idea of gravity. And then he did more. He came up with the idea of mass and motion. And what happened was with Newton, you had the development of some classical rules of science. I mean, really what Newton was saying was, if you can describe the current situation to me, and you can describe the mass, and you can describe speed, and you can describe gravity, then I can tell you what the next outcome is going to be. It was hardcore science, right? You do these things, I can tell you what happens next. And that worked out really well until 1890s, 1910s, 1920s. All of a sudden we started developing better microscopes, better ability to look deeper, to look at the work of subatomic particles. And all of a sudden, what we had always said were hardcore rules, they weren't hardcore rules anymore. All we could say now was, if you can tell me the situation here, and you can tell me mass and speed and velocity, all I can do is give you a probable outcome of how things will happen next. And that's quantum physics. It deals with probabilities, and it's really frustrating. Well, I bring that up in a way to kind of close out this series that's been all month, because what struck me last night was that it's really kind of like our view of God, right? I mean, for a couple thousand years or more, we had a really straightforward idea, description of God. God was this guy with white hair and a white beard, looked pretty Northern European, and he sat in judgment, and if you did good or if you did poorly, then I can tell you what happens next. You go to heaven or hell. That's it. Over. And then all of a sudden, it's really been for a couple thousand years, but it's gotten more attention the last 100 years or so, that our view of God isn't anymore this Northern European white-haired guy with a long white beard. So I'm like, well, first of all, we got to thinking, well, I guess he could be of any race, right? And he, well, could be a she, too. Or maybe it's not a human being at all. And so all of a sudden we started saying, well, yes, it's sort of partially human-like, but it's more of an idea. It's more like a universal energy. It's more of a divine flow. And we immerse ourselves in it. We avail ourselves of it, or we don't. And so it's a much more sort of modern view of what the Spirit of God is. You know, and if you're a classical physicist, you hate quantum physicists. You know, they just bug you because they're too woo-woo. Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing. If you're a classic fundamentalist Christian, you're not in love with the people who start saying God's kind of a universal energy. It's kind of like, don't go to church there, ever. Well, I thought I'd close this out with a story. Close out this whole series with a story. It's one you may have heard of before. Right after World War II in India, the Hindus and the Muslims were fighting. Terrible fighting. I mean, brutal wars. They were really killing off each other as they sought where the Muslims would live and where the Hindus would live in India. And Gandhi started fasting And the reason he was fasting was he wanted to protest these religious wars going on. He thought there could be nothing less relevant to love and God and religion and spirituality than two different religions declaring war on each other. And so this Hindu man came in. He broke into where Gandhi was laying. He was laying in bed, very weak from fasting. And he threw food at Gandhi. And he said, "Eat." He said, "I'm going to hell, but I'm not going to hell because you didn't eat." And Gandhi was very weak. But what he said was, only God determines who goes to hell. It's not you. What have you done? And the man said, he's a Hindu man, and he said, I took a Muslim child, and I smashed his head against a wall, and I killed him. And Gandhi began crying. And in his tears, Gandhi said, "Why?" And he said, "Because his parents, Muslims, killed my little boy. And that's why I'm going to hell." And Gandhi said, "I know a way out of hell." He said, "What you do is I want you to go find a little boy about this tall. What I want you to do is raise that little boy. I want you to find somebody whose parents have been killed, so he's an orphan." He said, "But what I want you to do is I want you to find a little boy whose parents were Muslim. And even though you're a Hindu, I want you to raise him as a Muslim." Now, Hindus just hated Muslims, and Muslims hated Hindus. And so this whole idea of raising somebody as a Muslim just struck him. He couldn't do it, and he got angry, and he left, and then he came back a second later, and he just broke down, and he started crying at Gandhi's feet. Gandhi got it. Gandhi got it that we are all here together. And we have to act like it. We have to love one another. We have to forgive one another. We have to deal with some hard truths sometimes. Gandhi got it that what Hindus do affect Muslims, and what Muslims do affect Hindus, and what Christians do affect Jews, and what Jews do affect Christians. And what old people do affect young people, and what young people do affect old people, and what blacks do affect whites, and whites affect blacks. And what he was saying is just put this garbage away. And instead, let's just act as if we are all one, as if we are all whole, embedded in love. Namaste.
Ancient Hindu practice of chanting in the names of God in Sanskrit to reach a state of bliss. Meditation doesn't come easy for many people, and that's where kirtan comes in. It's a call and response experience offering another method, another form of meditation. Without the work of mentally quieting the mind, kirtan can carry us effortlessly to a place of quietness and stillness. One of the oldest sacred traditions in the world, the kirtan call and response chanting comes to us from India. Using ancient Sanskrit mantras, the kirtan calls upon sacred energies which serve to quiet the mind, remove obstacles, and bring us back to the center of our being. This next song that we're doing is called Om Mama, and we will be performing this at our kirtan on Saturday at 4 o'clock. I hope you all will join us and learn to chant with us.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. It is that time in our service when we ask everyone to give of their financial blessings to the church. If this is your first time here, please know that we do not ask you to give. Just please be our guests. For those of you who are on our program, our Pro Plan, which is our planned regular offerings, don't forget to pick up your coin in the back that you can use to put in the offering basket also. Each week we have someone from the congregation read a prosperity blessing, and this week is the other Donna, Donna Smith.
Thank you. It's good to be here to read the prosperity blessing to you today. And I was thinking about our new word, entanglement, and how prosperity is about entanglement too. As we give and receive from this church, we are always and forever entangled. I like that. We've come to that time in the service when we ask you to share your financial blessings to support the church. Whether you're here at the center or watching from home, we share what we can, remembering there is a mysterious law called entanglement and a loving principle named wholeness. And these ideas move through everything that we do. We are deeply connected, walking the pathway towards divine love and sacred purpose. And all of us really, really, really are in this whole thing together. How cool is that? And so it is. Namaste.
Go tell all my friends that my ship just came sailing in, and it was filled with the Holy Spirit, and it was filled with joy divine. Wouldn't you like to sail on a ship like mine? Go tell all my friends that my ship just came sailing in, and it was filled with the Holy Spirit, and it was filled with joy divine. Wouldn't you like to sail on a ship like mine? Oh, get on board, 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 oh, get on board, oh, get on board, get on board. Go tell all my friends that my ship just came sailing in, and it was filled with the Holy Spirit, and it was filled with joy divine. Wouldn't you like to sail on a ship like mine? Wouldn't you like to sail on a ship like mine? Wouldn't you like to sail on a ship like mine?
Thank you. Would you join me in giving a little blessing for these love offerings? It's the Spirit of God. As always, we say thank you. We know that the financial gifts are important for the church. But what's far more important is that we just get this idea at a deep, deep, deep level that we are all in this together. We are all affected by each other. We all affect each other. And so we want to do that in love and truth and forgiveness. So we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. And so we'll bring the kids in.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,
Amber, what did everybody learn about today?
So today we worked on a couple things. In a couple weeks, the youth program is actually going to help run the service. And so we started to prepare for that. So we practiced some things, and I don't want to say too much, but that's what we did. We prepared for our couple weeks when we helped run the service.
Well, thank you very much. Well, if the kids would like to go back, or parents or guardians, that would be great. You can go ahead and do that now. And as I say every Sunday, parents or guardians, if even though the kids are coming back to you now, we'd still like to have you sign them out. That would be great. We'd appreciate that. Hey, by the way, I wanted to say something. Patty and I are not going to be here for the next 2 Sundays. And I just wanted to let you know why. My son met a woman online about 5 years ago. And they met, and they fell in love, and they got married. And he moved to England to be with her. And so we're going to go visit them. I haven't seen my son in 4 years. So it'll be kind of nice. So next week we have Susie Weller speaking. And the week after that, as Amber just mentioned, Amber's going to be talking the week after that. So you have to give them your big support, right? Because they're both going to be just wonderful. So, okay. If you'd like to stand. And now, would you like to join me in our prayer for protection? Together? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Thanks for being here, everybody.
some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Now I can stand in liberty and love in my faith. Now I can stand and I am free because I took some